Everyone, thank you very much for dropping by and for returning to the old world. Today, the start of a new series looking at hobby progress. And for those of you who have been keeping abreast of my posts will have seen this replaces the monthly stuff what I painted videos. So what is the purpose of this series? Well, it's very much looking at progress made throughout a period of time, probably once a quarter. I'll be looking at things that I have painted, lessons learnt, things that I think could be done better, and things that I think have gone particularly well. I think keeping a track of hobby progress is really important, certainly from my perspective, for staying on top of motivation and getting things done. Although, with having said that, I'm not a believer when it comes to hobby time of setting hard and fast targets of I must get X, Y, Z done by this short time frame, because it's our hobby time. It's our time to relax and get away from the realities of daily life and all the struggles that go with that. So for this first video, that being said, I thought it would be a good idea to really set some groundwork as to where I am with my main project, which is getting a dwarf army ready for when Warhammer the Old World is released. I talked about that at the start of the year, and you may have seen some of these models before. However, from now on, I'll be able to show just what I've added to the main force, and you can see the collection together. So let's start with the characters. The model you see front and centre is a Dwarf King from Oathmark, the model range from North Star Miniatures. I'm using a lot of their range across this, so generally that's where the figures are from, unless I say otherwise. A metal figure, it wasn't going to be the chap I used as my main lord, but actually the model's really nice, so I thought, hey ho, I will crack on and use that. Let's just see if we can get a little bit closer in. A little bit. There we go. Flanking him are two combat characters, probably going to be used as Thanes. The one in the blue cloak is Games Workshop, and the one in the red on my right is from Advanced Hero Quest, so kind of Games Workshop. Coming around, we have here the bloke with the bird on his hand is a Dwarven Wizard, which strangely I'm probably going to be using, I say probably, will be using as a runesmith. Last but by no means least, we have here the Battle Standard Bearer. That's a kit bash from various North Star ranges and a homemade banner. The banner didn't come out quite as well as I would have liked. The colours have bled a little bit when I applied PVA to the paper to try and stick it all together. So lesson learnt there. For larger banners, if I want to do designs like that, then I need better material rather than a piece of paper, which I've coloured in. I think it looks okay, but it could look quite a bit better. Next up, we have the Elite Infantry. Here we have 2 units of 20 hammerers, or models to represent hammerers with full commands. The drums don't come from the North Star kit. They don't actually have any musicians on the plastic sprues, so the drums come from Napoleonic French infantry, but sticking one on the base like that, I think, adequately represents the fact that we have a musician. So these are the elite warriors, the Huskars, if you like, the professional fighters that protect the hold on a day-to-day basis. And depending on whether what the rules look like, they can either be a unit of 40 or 2 units of 20. Finally, in the special category, we have these chaps who are representing Iron Breakers. Again, the concept being they have full command. These are the guys to protect the mines, the heavy armour, an anvil for an enemy to break themselves against, or to be able to hold individual doorways as the army prepares should there be an incursion underground. So overall, I have 3 units of 20 models, 60 in total, forming the elite infantry of the hold. But what about the regular dwarf warriors? The regular dwarf warriors and the longbeards, the craftsmen that have set aside their tools and taking up arms in the defence of their hold, are what I'm working on. Currently, here we see a unit of 20 longbeards, regular infantry from Oathmark, the North Star range. Again, this time with heavy infantry arms to give them the double-handed weapons. You'll notice the banners don't actually have any material on them. The more lowly the unit, the less likely it is to have a banner. Well, in this world setting, well, my headcanon, I should say, that is exactly the case. The regular units represented by the colour of the emblem on top of the staff rather than having a flag, which is reserved for more elite units, and the BSB, the only model getting a full flag. Last but by no means least, here we have 10 dwarf warriors armed with spears and shields. Now I know that dwarves, they've not come with spears for donkey's years in the Warhammer setting. So I'll probably use these to represent hand weapons when the rules come out, assuming that that stays the same. So where does this leave us? Well, going forward, I want to finish off that unit of 10 to make it a unit of 20, same size as all the other units, and I'll be adding another unit of 20 dwarf warriors armed with hand weapons and shields. The models for those unit expansions are already on order, but we'll see how long it takes because they're not quite in stock currently. I'm also looking to aim at bringing in 3 units of missile weapons, each of 10 models. So I've got a box of light infantry on order as well. Now, at the start of the year, I talked around wanting to get the core of this army done, ready for when the Warhammer the Old World released. Principal target really was the end of the year. Nice, gentle target. Got about 60 models left to paint to get that done. So looking quite promising. And so also then have an extra character, I think, to add to this army. That will then leave me time to start targeting the more interesting elements to the army. The artillery, do I want to bring in slayers, anything like that? Other kind of war machines and special weapons. But that's a decision to be taken further down the tracks. So that's it for setting the benchmark for where I am with my current project. And I'm looking forward to being able to bring you updates as and when this army expands. I do also have other projects which I dip in and out of, so may well bring you some progress on those depending on how they go. So, do you have any projects you're particularly proud of? Things that you're working on for Warhammer the Old World? Or maybe your army's already ready and you're just raring to go once the book gets released? Do let me know in the comments below. If you're enjoying this content and want to hear my thoughts on Warhammer the Old World more generally, a mixture of painting, lore, hobby project, and just stuff around the release of the game, then do consider dropping a subscribe. All that remains to say is thank you very much for stopping by. I'm Return to the Old World. Have a great day.